The Badge to the Bone podcast contains adult language, mature themes, psychological nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. The opinions expressed here are ours and ours alone. Buckle up.
All right, welcome back to Badge to the Bone. I'm Denny,
I'm Al.
and we are here for another episode, Al.
Yes, let's get on it.
Let's do it.
I'm giving up on society, up on my family, up on your social disease. I'm giving up on the industry, up on democracy. Done with all your hypocrisy.
Al.
What's up?
So here we are with the final episode
Season
of
3.
season 3.
Yeah. The fact that we can actually say season 3.
I'm sure there were some hoping that I was just going to be final episode. That's it.
And we're done. Thanks.
Yeah. But no, sorry to disappoint you. We will be back.
Yes.
We'll take a little summer break as we normally do.
Yes, because we need it
We do.
badly.
We do. But we have a full house here at Flatfoot's Bar,
Yeah.
Badge to the Bone headquarters.
It's pleasantly crowded in here today.
It is.
Yeah. So, who do we have, Denny?
Who do we have? Well, we have returning guests. We've got Kari with us on season 1.
Yes. Hello, Kari.
ECC.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back. And we have Greg Podolak.
Shalom.
Good to have
Shalom.
you back. And Greg was on season. Were you season 2 or? I thought it was season 2.
Episode 4.
4, episode 4. That's right. I looked it up the other day. Season 2, episode 4, which we got a lot of feedback on that. And
Yeah.
I think there's been some developments since that episode.
You got feedback on it?
Yeah.
We did.
Holy fuck.
People actually said some nice things.
No shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Fist bump. So,
Cool.
how you guys doing? Thanks for coming.
You can go first, Kari.
I'm doing really well. I have made some progress in my personal and professional life. I'm officially off probation at
Nice.
my current employer, which we still won't name due to
Mm.
where I work. And I have also co-founded a nonprofit foundation with some neighbors. So it's called the Lucky Paw Foundation, and our goal is to help shelters and rescues in need with the supplies that they can't get
Very nice.
easily.
We like that.
I'm definitely a dog lover, so that's awesome. Good for you. You've been busy then
Constantly.
since the
Yeah,
last time.
very much
Excuse
so.
me, we spoke. Yeah.
Very much so.
Well, that's good.
Feels good.
It's great to have you here. Are you still listening to us, or are you reluctantly showing up here at the location?
Guys, I'll tell y'all the truth. They made me come in or else. No,
See?
I do. I actually don't. I won't listen to every episode as it drops because I like to get a good couple hours run of you guys when I'm at work.
Okay.
So I'll wait till 2 or 3 drop, and then that's what'll get me through my work day.
All right.
I'm balancing between you guys and the Sean Ryan show right now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I like Sean Ryan. Vigilant Solutions, isn't it?
Vigilant Elite.
Vigilant Elite. That's it. Yep. He's the Navy SEAL guy,
Yes.
former Navy SEAL. Yeah, he's got some good videos on there. I did his recommendation on the 36-yard zero and zeroing in your rifle, stuff like that, at a 36-yard as opposed to like 50 or 100 yards. It's pretty cool.
I'll have to check that out myself.
It's pretty interesting. Yep, the 36-yard zero. Well, Greg,
The 36-yard zero, is that due to ballistic drops? What's
it is
oddly specific?
and you'll have to watch the video, but because obviously you have drops, and depending on where you zero in your gun, you've got to know where your holdovers are,
Sure.
where your drops are.
Right.
The 36-yard zero pretty much gave it so from the center of your head pretty much to your chest, the or pretty much really wherever you aim, no matter where you aim, from up close all the way out to, like, I want to say it was a couple hundred yards. It might have been 400 or 500 yards, but all the way out to serious distance, your deviation was no bigger than a size of a CD.
Interesting.
So it made it pretty good where instead of having to constantly, okay, I'm shooting at 300 yards, where do I need to be aiming? If you just default to aiming at what you want to hit, your deviation is only going to be the size of that CD. So it was pretty cool. And he showed, watch it. He'll show several different targets, the 50-yard zero, 100-yard zero, and the 30, and it'll show you. Now it's different, because I think the 100-yard zero for certain distances, your deviation was even smaller, but for other distances, it got huge. It really spread out. So that 36-yard was kind of where it gave you the most ranges or I guess distances you could deviate or go to shoot from with having a small deviation. And you'll have to watch, but it just, if you're aiming at the head at 25 yards, you're going to hit the head. It's because that's smaller than a CD. If you're aiming at the head at 300 yards, you're still going to hit the head because it's smaller than a CD. So it may not be precise, and it's not for precision. If you're doing precision, you're doing competition, stuff like that, that's not the zero. It's more of a combat zero.
Huh. Who knew we were going to have like
ballistic
ballistics and marksmanship. I can't speak. Marksmanship class.
But I definitely, anybody that shoots a rifle or has a rifle, or if you have something that you want to zero in for, kind of combat your apocalyptic scenario, watch that video for Sean Ryan. It's a really great video.
And Sean, if you hear this, can we get some gummies back on the market? Because I'm tired of them being sold out. Thanks.
All righty then.
I have no
Very
idea
good.
what that means.
Apparently, he makes or manufactures the most amazing gummies.
I've heard it. I've never.
And you can't find them. They're always sold out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to do with that information. That's so random. That's so random.
We're what, 5 minutes in and we've gone completely random.
We really
all over the map. Anything else?
So this one time, while recording a podcast,
how fitting that both you and I are back on together.
It's actually kind of scary.
Cool.
I haven't seen you. It's been at least a month.
Well, you don't show up to things. We had this big event.
You didn't show up. What the hell?
Yeah.
Thank you, Al. What was that about?
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Shots fired already. Shit. Here we go.
Yeah, like at the Vail event. Where's Kari? Where's Kari?
I support you calling me out, but first off, the weather was kind of questionable. So my co-founder earlier in the week.
Oh, yeah.
So my co-founders and I decided we probably weren't going to make it because we didn't expect the crowd.
Sure.
And I'm glad I was wrong on that for you guys. And then 2, I accidentally on purpose sent a text saying, hey, I'm going to come see you guys in a little bit. And then I fell asleep and woke up like 4 hours later.
Were you listening to the podcast?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I looked at that text. I was like, oh, Kari's going to show up.
And then I woke up at 4 and I was like, oh, it's over.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Thank you.
Well, yeah. And Greg, I have to mention, Greg brought a beverage for us today.
Oh boy.
So I don't know if you guys know this, the viewers, right? But Al gave me an oddly specific request, and he pretty much said, I
didn't ask for this, I can assure you.
Well, no, yeah, right. You didn't ask, you demanded. He said, like, Denny, you witnessed it. He said, you can't come on the show until we have hard alcoholic seltzers.
And that's hard.
This is hard, yes.
This really sounds like fake news.
So as the only female in the room, and you're talking about hard things.
Yes.
And that I can assure you is not hard.
I'm drinking it. You brought it. I did tell you.
Yeah.
Bring it. I'll drink it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you show up with Trulies.
Mm-hmm. Tall boys.
Tall boy. Trulies. And
what is it truly? It's truly something.
Yeah. I feel like this needs to be consumed from a paper bag. I'm not sure what to make of this.
I would say it's definitely not a regular item served at Flatfoot's. But
I can assure you this is the first time that anything like it has been consumed at Flatfoots.
You know what's really funny to kind of piggyback off of Kari, because she's right, we're all pretty feminine. That the that
What?
that the 8% Trulies, I shit you not, they call them truly unruly.
truly unruly.
I mean, like, you could make fun of a 5% one.
Truly unruly.
It's the marketing, yeah. I don't know, but I brought them over to Brews one time, and we all loved them. But yeah,
Truly unruly.
which sounds like a rock band.
Sounds like it was named.
Hey, we're truly unruly.
Yeah, yeah.
Truly unruly. I don't know if it sounds like a rock band or a street fight at a gay bar. I mean, like,
I mean, in 20 years when COVID's still around, that's going to be the new strand. It's going to be truly unruly.
Truly unruly.
okay, so the one I have.
I like the truly unruly band. I do.
Thank you.
What are like the skinny cans I see girls drinking all the is that truly? What are those?
I know
It's
that
the White Claw.
Yeah, that's
White
what
Claw.
I thought.
White Claw's the white can.
Greg, you want to
Okay.
tell us about White Claw?
I love White Claw.
Greg does love White Claw.
I-
We've had the discussion.
We've had the discussion. We actually had a very spirited debate at the first wellness event.
We did. In fact, I wasn't sure whether you were bringing Truly or White Claw. Today.
You know,
I was
I-
unsure.
Okay, I will admit to having tried a White Claw.
Okay.
It's disgusting. I mostly drink liquor
Me too.
and I mostly drink whiskey.
Me too.
And
Liquor is quicker.
I will veer into
Amen.
rum. I will veer into rum. I love a good gin and tonic or a Bloody
I
Mary.
can't drink gin.
But
I'll just eat a Christmas tree.
you know,
It's like pine.
it does. But
It's horrible.
but I got this one. It is strawberry lemonade. So
Sounds delightful.
I do like strawberry.
I know.
So
You like lemonade too, don't you?
ish.
It's summertime.
I'm
you
more
know?
of a limeade guy, but
I
I'm
I
just
like a
saying-
good limeade.
I'm just saying, it is actually pretty palatable. Like
all right.
it's.
I'm going to try this. So
It sounds good.
it-
That always sounds good.
feels like
What notes? What notes you getting, man? Smell it first.
what notes am I getting? Let's see. Sorority party. Definitely some bad decisions with a hint of despair.
That's too good. That's too good.
All right, I'm going to try this now.
Bad decision with a hint of despair. Here we go. And
It is palatable.
Yes.
okay, all right.
It is palatable. I feel like the hangover will start about a third of the way down the can.
Is it refreshing? Mildly?
It is mildly refreshing.
Because it's probably light. I mean, I've got the
It's
pineapple,
light.
and it's pretty light.
It's really sweet though.
Yeah.
But they use stevia, which is why that weird aftertaste comes-
Stevia, please.
Stevia.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I use
Stevia.
stevia. That's what goes in my coffee.
Yeah.
It's the only sweetener I use
Yep.
stevia.
No, my coffee, nothing goes in my
Black,
It's
it's just black.
Well, I just use one stevia. It just gives just a little hint if I'm not drinking a black coffee. But it's either black coffee or one stevia.
Look, it's not bad. I never have proclaimed that Trulies are amazing. I have never once said that.
I mean, it is better than a White Claw.
Interesting. There's a huge debate I've had with pretty much everyone about Truly and White Claw, and I've never met someone who likes both. It's either Team Truly or Team White Claw, or just they don't like seltzers.
Really? So
Yeah.
it's really a divided group then.
But sadly, what this is kind of reminds me of, I keep thinking about it, is do you remember Four Loko?
Yeah.
Oh,
The original that
Four
killed like
Loko.
a crap ton of people. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and
That's
it
our
was,
generation.
it was,
Yeah.
it was so bad that if you rolled up on people drinking Four Locos, just call a backup
Yeah,
unit because the fight was going to be on.
Yep.
I'll do you one better. Go back even farther. What does it remind you of?
I was gonna say Jack 3D.
Zima.
Zima with the
Oh.
Jolly Rancher.
Oh, there you go. See?
There we go.
Zima. You remember that?
Yeah, not only one of my dearest, oldest
You're
friends,
right. And we dropped the Jolly Ranchers in it.
Yep.
one of my dearest, oldest friends managed to find Zima. This was it was
Was
only
it-
like 3 or 4 years ago when somehow Zima made like some like little comeback or something. I don't know why anybody wanted it back, but it was back. And he bought like 2 cases of these for a river weekend we did. And he was like, I got Zima and I got Jolly Ranchers. I'm like,
Yeah.
Did we just hit a time portal?
Takes you back to bad decisions.
Yep.
we didn't like this in 1989.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's yeah, it's different. I could do it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're out fishing and that's all that's in a cooler, I'm going to drink.
You're not going to complain about it if that's all you have.
No, if I'm fishing, I might,
I will have to say this would be something more that if I'm out in the sun, where it's because it is, at least it's light.
Yeah.
It's not a real heavy beverage.
Yeah.
My fishing beers tend to be Soul if I can get it, but it's always in glass bottles. And, that's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Hell or High Watermelon, which
now I do like
that sounds delicious.
yeah, it's 21st Amendment Brewing out of California, and it's a wheat beer.
White watermelon. Yep.
And it is fantastic beach beer.
It really is. It's very light. My fishing beer would be really whatever light beer was on sale when I went into the store. So just because I'm out there fishing and it's hot and I really could care less. So if I'm trying to enjoy it, then we were probably a nice IPA or something. But
oh God. Oh, cannot do it.
IPAs are delicious.
I cannot. Just go, lick the deck outside.
Too bitter? You don't like to?
Oh, it's too much.
You need like a tangerine or like a
No.
What you need is the Triple Crossings Falcon Smash. That's
an IPA.
Amazing. It is.
That's an IPA.
It's an amazing beer.
I avoid IPAs.
Amazing Triple Crossing IPA. I'm telling you.
I'm learning things.
Falcon Smash.
That's why we're here
Falcon
to help
Smash.
you learn. That's like
for anybody listening that has not had a Falcon Smash, do yourself a favor. Falcon Smash. You can usually find it in the restaurants around here now.
Interesting.
And the owner or one of the owners of Triple Crossing is a former police officer.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
We worked together.
I did not know that.
Super good dude. But he left and started, and he got in like right before it took off.
Yep.
So they're doing, of course, phenomenal now. But
good.
But that is his best beer. I think they make. Falcon Smash.
You go into Richmond, and the only beers you can find on tap are PBR.
Yep.
And 27 different types of IPA.
Well, now, hold on. Now, I mean, I don't want to hate on PBR. I got a PBR sign in here. I don't want to hate on Cold Pabst.
I'm not going to hate on Pabst, but
we have some history with
we have a lot of history with Pabst. Doesn't mean it's good beer. Does not mean that good decisions were made.
That is a good point. It does not mean, you're right. It doesn't.
We may be nostalgic, but that doesn't mean good.
All right. Yeah, that's a good point. I can't say the memories are over the flavor and the taste, but
So, Greg,
yes, sir.
You've had a lot of stuff going on with your business, your counseling efforts.
Yes, sir.
Since then,
Mm-hmm.
How's it going?
Busy, extremely busy. Does it make sense to kind of give a cliff notes of when I was last year, and then what I was doing and whatnot?
Well, when you were last here, you were kind of in that startup phase.
Yeah, that was at the. Was at the onset, but yeah, I mean.
So I will omit a lot of important things, but what I'm doing is something that I call the Law Enforcement Wellness Initiative, and it's trying to normalize, integrate wellness into a more day-to-day operations-based modality. Has similar framework to utilizing chaplains, but with a more clinical, psychotic, and less spiritual.
Did you say psychotic?
Yes.
I heard psychotic.
Yes.
I heard psychotic.
Yes, and less faith-based thing. Theoretically, let me backtrack. In my opinion, the way that you do this is to have a presence. Having a presence with law enforcement is to do active and continuous ride-along. So I work with a lot of departments in Central VA, only either really violent or really dangerous departments. This is a very proactive measure, and the idea is to form that rapport and have that shared experience. So in the event that an officer is struggling, whether it's in real time, whether it's post a critical incident or just cumulative, there is that trust, rapport, familiarity, and if hopefully we experience something together, so there isn't, this officer doesn't feel stigmatized, alone, like he or she can't find someone. So in a nutshell, that is what I'm doing. There's a lot of nuanced and intricacies to it and nuanced things that I'm doing to put my own spin on it. But this is a free service. I don't ask for any money. I just ask for support from departments and active communication because I hate when people don't respond to me. But yes, that is what I'm doing in a nutshell. I work at a private practice out in Ashland where all we do is work with public safety. Me personally, I do individual and EMDR therapy with public safety as well.
So I remember when we talked about on the episode, and we were excited to hear about the fact that you were going to be regularly riding on, really almost a part of the agency, but regularly riding along, not just I'm going to visit once every 6 months, or I'm going to stop into headquarters to say hi and talk to you. This is just, I'm going to be here.
Yeah, and something that drives me insane, and I will not name drop people or departments, but I would love to. Maybe off air I will. But every department, it seems like most departments have either a pure sport team or system team, but that's it's a check mark. That's where it ends.
Yeah, yeah. We've talked about that. Yep.
Yes.
Check the box.
Now, if you're an officer on the team, you're exempt from what I'm about to say. But if you are the clinician, the psychologist, psychiatrist on, that is in charge of it, and your presence is going to a briefing, like you said, once a month, or only doing mandatory trainings, you're better off just not even being there. It's actually almost worse because you know what's going on and you're just not going there. The idea that someone's busy is bullshit, at least to me, because I'm fucking busy as all hell and I still make time for literally everything. I have 4 different schedules on my Google thing just to make sure that I have all my ducks in a row. It's attainable. It's just a bullshit excuse, right? But yeah, I am with primarily 2 departments. One is, I think both of them are pretty familiar to both of y'all.
Yep.
And I know that y'all had my buddy Will on. It is his department one of the ones that I spend a lot of time with. It's a very violent area, very misunderstood area. Also just a wild area. But also it's not limited to that, but I'm making a connection that either with super busy departments or super violent departments, sub-precincts, whatever, there is more of a need for me to be there. So that's kind of how I drive this idea.
So how, I mean, again, because when you were here, I don't think you really hadn't even started with any of the agencies yet. So, but you've been riding along for a while now. How is it being received? And first, how is it being received at the officer, the frontline level? That would be my first question.
Yeah. So to preface, when I came here, I just sent all emails out and that was it. Like no department aside from Richmond Ambulance, because I was with them while I was in grad school, part of my program, right?
Right.
That was the only non-law enforcement department I was with because I really do have a deep caring and loving for them. When I pitch these things, I make it very clear that this is something that is geared primarily towards patrol, not mutually exclusive to patrol. So if MPOs, sergeants, etc., higher ups want to meet with me in a different capacity, hey, how can I support my officers? What are warning signs to look out for? What are the resources? How do I, as a sergeant, as a lieutenant, as a major, whomever, which I've met with all these people, right? How do I better support my officers? I absolutely welcome that, but I make it very clear that when I do this pitch, to people that I have to do, that it is geared towards patrol. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm a fucking weirdo. I don't know. But
Yes.
I mean, and psychotic. But I have been received so fucking well that it actually pisses me off because it wasn't that hard. I was expecting like the first, because when I was with you, I think it was September, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
So September to now was what, 8-9 months? 8?
Yeah.
Going on 9, right?
Yeah.
I have internally before I started this, I said 6 months for people to hate me and not look at me and maybe shoot me. I don't know. And then people will see that I'm here for the long haul. But I've had 3 officers at most not like me, one of which is not even employed by this department anymore. That they were standoffish, and it's been smooth fucking sailing.
So you were expecting the pushback, the resistance to be like, oh, what the hell? What is this bullshit kind of thing? And it has not been like that?
Not at all. And I think because, one, I don't get paid for it. This is a completely free and voluntary service. That in and of itself reduces a lot of,
Absolutely.
That establishes some credibility, I think.
Right away,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, my lived experience of being on an ambulance, my parent, my brother, my father, me wanting to be a cop many years ago, and then doing all this stuff on a both private practice and a nonprofit level, right? And then also, again, like I'm pretty personable. Again, I am going to these areas free, hoping to experience trauma. I think that cuts through a lot of like, who is this fucking guy? What is he doing? But yeah, I really thought, like, I gave myself, I said 6 months, and if there's no progress, I need to reassess how I'm pitching it. What am I doing? Do I need to be here more or less? Do I need to blah blah blah? But that hasn't been the case at all, which has been super fucking awesome.
I would go so far as to say that it is a program that should be adopted all over our state, Virginia, and certainly nationwide. I mean, it should be a model program for use everywhere.
I completely agree, and I think I, not to toot my own horn, although that sounds sexual, but but I was saying even back then that in order for a peer support or CISM team, again, this is geared more towards the clinician, mental health person, whomever's on, and this includes chaplains and volunteers.
Right.
I was saying this for fucking ever, that they need to adopt a model similar to how crisis people operate to civilians going through crisis, where they're on call. Like, there will be people sleeping at whatever agency, at the CSB, at a behavioral health larger, and if there's a call out, they're already there. So it takes them 5-10 minutes to respond. I know this sounds unattainable. I was saying that forever. I went on LinkedIn a few days ago and I saw some departments somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, so very progressive. They have the money and the forward thinking, doing this, like this exact thing where
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. I don't know the specifics, but I saw that the headline and the tag, right? So I think that really is the future. Like, you can't just have a static peer support team. There needs to be proactivity. And we can get into things that I've faced if you all want about, like, barriers, because that's obviously a pretty large thing as well. But yeah.
And last episode we just had Beth Salmo on, who was talking about her efforts to set up a practice.
Yep.
For geared towards law enforcement and reaching out to other clinicians to get them on board. It was getting a large amount of pushback from clinicians, like, why do you want to help these assholes? They're a bunch of racists, and what's this blue line, this and that, and the flag is offensive, and it was, and the resistance was coming from clinicians.
So I went to a very, very progressive school called Virginia Commonwealth University, and a very, very progressive major, social work.
Yes.
Ew. Blah. But statistically, right? I promise you, I'm not. This is all within the realm of what we're talking about. By and large, it's a female-driven profession. There's nothing wrong with that. And then it goes like, it goes female-driven, and then I think it goes like gay men and, or pardon me, gay people, people that identify as gay. Straight men are like at the very bottom of this list, right? So I'm already at a disadvantage, right? I would come home, because when I was in grad school doing, when I was with Razzie, right? I was up for literally 24 hours back to back. I was doing my 2 and going into grad school, going straight into class, which were 8-10 hour days. I would come in, and because it's social work, right? Typically, it's crunchy granola, fucking people complain about, like, their boss at Publix, like, yelling at them for being on their phone. Now, that's not to say it's not valid, right? If you're a 19, 20-year-old and that happens, I'm sure that is, sucky. It is sucky, right? But I'd come in and I would fucking be miserable. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I remember one day I came in and I was really, like, bad. I was in a terrible mood. I hated the world. We ended on, like, fucking some dude with his face missing because of fucking stupid drug deal gone wrong. And I got no sleep. I went home. I got no sleep. I tried making avocado guacamole because my diet went to shit, and I was so tired that I slit. I was cutting using my knife the wrong way, so it went into my hand, and I was bleeding everywhere. Right, so I was just not doing well. And I come in, and my professor, who I did like a lot, she's really cool. Hey, let's go into your breakout rooms and talk about, or breakout groups rather, and talk about what's going on. And this one woman was like, hey, like, you seem mad, and I'm like, excuse me? And I fucking went off. I'm like, you know why I'm fucking mad? I just saw a 19-year-old, I'm older than this fucking kid, who's missing his face because of a fucking drug deal. His wife was pregnant, fucking almost died. Like, just going on and on and on. At the end of the semester, she said, like, I'm really interested in, like, working with, because I never thought of them being a service population, which that in and of itself is a whole, that could be like an 8-part miniseries on why.
Right.
But what I would say to what the whole point of me bringing this up and all that, what I found is that although there aren't many clinicians and psychiatrists, or whomever is in a mental health role that want to work with public safety, maybe what we lack in numbers, we definitely make up for cultural competence. At least through my experience, just purely my experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And ironically, not so long ago, or I don't know if ironic is the right word, this woman that I'm telling you about reached out to me on LinkedIn and was like, hey, like, what are some resources in the area that could help me volunteer because I want to learn fire culture better? I'm like, oh, cool. Awesome. I'm really happy that what I had said, even though the delivery was piss poor and I was just angry at the world, resonated.
That's really good. I the only glass half full, glass half empty. I wish it was more than one. That's all.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I think, I am pretty much a one-man show. I have support from my boss, but and again, the departments that I work with, but that's it. So I'm pretty much doing this on my own accord, how I want to operate. I do the things I want to do, how I want to do it with the departments I want to work with. So again, I think that also kind of defeats a lot of this. Who the fuck is this guy? Does he like White Claws? I don't know. But
No, he likes Truly.
Yeah.
But I would say it's encouraging that it's been well received from kind of your front line.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, I mean, like, I don't want to steal the air because we have Kari here and has quite a bit to say too. But I would love to at some point talk about kind of the flip side, of the departments that gave me shit or the responses they gave me. Because
Yeah, I
think-
definitely want to be able to touch on
Yeah.
that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and I'm name dropping, so I don't fucking care. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds good.
Kari, I got to thank you, and I'm going to call you out here on air. You have been probably one of the single greatest cheerleaders for what Denny and I are doing
Agreed.
since we started this.
Agreed.
I mean, constantly, consistently, and I'm just going to say it here in front of everybody. Thank you.
I thank you, and you are welcome. I firmly believe in what you guys, your purpose, and what y'all are trying to do here. So, I 100%, I'll throw it out there with the followers that I have and whatever network I have. As a victim, but I don't wear my victim shirt anymore. But as a victim of the mental health effects of public safety, I like to use my story as a way of showing people you can overcome it. And then you guys are doing what y'all can to put the resources out there and the information to show all first responders they're not alone. So
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all about the different stories that come on. I mean, like your story and everybody's story. I think they're all important. We talked about it when we went to Mount St. Mary,
Mhm.
where we talked about. I think we talked about there about why we, why we do it and why we, that we're that kind of the platform for folks to come in and tell their stories.
Mhm.
And my thing was, we don't know what example, what guest, what story, what thing that somebody has been through that they've come to the other side of it that's going to resonate with it. We could have 100 episodes
Mhm.
and it be the 101st episode that is that breakthrough for somebody or someone that resonates. It could have been
Absolutely.
the very first episode. Unlikely.
Yeah.
But it could have been that.
The audio sucks.
Right. But we don't know, what it is. And, even if episode 10 resonated with somebody.
Oh, not that one. that
Yeah.
I don't even know what episode 10 was, guys. So
I was sitting there
Wow.
going, I was sitting there going, wait, shit, which one was it?
No, I mean, and that
But it could, it could be 10, but then 15 may resonate for somebody else. We
Right.
just don't know. So I almost feel like we have to keep bringing guests. We have to keep doing stories because they're all. I know for me, it was the multitude of them. It wasn't just one. It was the numerous that I see that, wow, okay, so I'm actually a member of this group
Mhm.
that has experienced and has had some fallout. But there's another side of it. I can push through it and have a better side to that fallout. So it was huge for me.
The longer we do this, the more introspective I personally get,
Right.
which is not something that I expected. And Kari, I hold you up there as somebody that will talk very candidly about. I still struggle.
Absolutely.
I still struggle, and I keep going. And the longer we do this, and like the episode Denny and I did, just the two of us, over the course of now 3 seasons, I start to realize, like, I'm starting to look in the mirror a lot more than I think I did when we started this out. And we talked about our own particular struggles. And then I look now and I go, yeah, I'm still struggling. I mean, I'm doing this, and I'll be very candid. And Denny's never heard me say this before, but there are days I walk into, do this podcast, and I feel a little bit like a hypocrite. But one foot in front of the other, and I say hypocrite because I'm like, I look at myself and I go, man, you're still a mess. You're still a mess.
It's funny you mention it, because I would have to agree, and is a big thing that I like about Kari's story, how she's just very forthright with it. I still struggle, because I think it is important to know that I don't know that you ever. I mean, there's probably somebody that gets to a point that just it's completely in the rear view, and the rear view mirror has been torn off the window, and they don't ever look back at anything, don't ever struggle, and nothing. There may be some folks out there, but I think for the majority, there are still going to be days you struggle. I mean, there's days that I still struggle, and I don't think that makes us a hypocrite. I think it makes us just like everybody else that we have on and talk. It puts us in that group, but I think it's important for people to know that.
Genuine and relatable.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know that. And I mean, I'll tell you, there's days like we're on long breaks. I mean, I'll tell you straight, I get discouraged about this podcast. I mean, I usually don't call you or send you a text message because I'm like, oh, he's going to panic. But I mean, I get days where I'm just struggling, and we haven't done a recording in a while because we've got some ahead and we're dropping, and I'm like, what are we doing this for? And when we need to shut this thing down, and this is just it's busy, it's a lot, and I have those days.
In some ways, it's become a weird form of therapy just for me. In other ways, it's made me that look in the mirror has gotten harder.
Sure,
I ain't gonna lie. But yeah. So let me bring it down.
But just I would be amiss if I didn't make a few comments. One, just because things look hard doesn't mean they're not attainable. Doesn't mean you haven't been there. It just means you're fucking hard. Please tell me anything. Even you drinking this truly right now, I could see that. Like,
that is difficult.
Yeah, like in your right. So we have that, but like on a serious note, right? Like, that is what humans fucking do, especially pertaining to what y'all are doing, what we're all here about. Secondly, if I were to be appearing or talking to someone and they were like, "Oh, I'm fixed. I'm fixed. I'm better." I'm first off going to be turned off from this person.
Bullshit.
Exactly. Thank you, Kari.
Yeah.
Lastly, Kari and I have a lot of overlap in people we know, things we do. One of the things we do, which we've talked about, do.
You said do.
One of the things that we do
is
do it, and is that class, the trauma course called Reboot. Kari and I have both gone through it as participants and are now both instructors for it. I know y'all had Ryan and Scott on, and they are also with us.
Yes.
What I will say is that it's truly something to behold when Kari is helping the participants through, because you actively relate. You say, hey, like, I'm still struggling. It is okay. Your lived experience, both professionally and personally, it's very, very, very interesting to watch, and it's really she has a knack for that.
Well, one thing I've realized through life is that just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad.
Right. Well, yeah.
So, but a lot of people automatically assume hardships, it's got to be bad. So
Right.
no, it's just a lesson that I haven't learned yet. And it might be the 10th or 12th time I'm going through this. Apparently I didn't get what I needed to the first, 15 times.
Yep.
But just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, you got to look at it as growth.
Yeah.
And lastly, I knew there was something else that I missed out. Like y'all were saying, like it could be the first, 10th, 20th, whatever episode. That's okay because everyone's struggles, everything is going to be different. So if it takes 1,000 episodes to reach that one specific person, cool. Why? That's not a bad thing.
Well, that's what I try to hang on to because
Yeah.
I do have moments where I'm like, is any of this helpful for anybody? I mean, I question that. I do. I mean, I just being real, being honest. There's days where I sit here or I'm editing, or I'm getting ready to drive, and I go, is any of this help? Is there anybody that has listened that this has helped anybody, or should we just find something else to do with our time? And then I come back around. This is important. And then once we get in here, we get the mics on, then I kind of get a refresh, or we do get a message or an email, or somebody will say something.
I got one as recently as yesterday.
So, and those refresh it. But and part of that's just my own. It's my own PTSD, my own kind of underlying dysthymia or depression that kind of wants to kind of drag me down and go, is this worth anything? And then I've just got to kind of keep myself on focus. But it's ups and downs.
I mean, even recently, I mean, I always, what's cathartic for someone is, again, complete individual of that person, right? But at the Vail event, 2 weekends ago, there was the family of the fallen officer that said, hey, like our son, who unfortunately was killed in the line of duty, like loved your podcast. Like that
I almost lost it.
Yeah,
I almost lost it. You just tell me,
me
Al.
too. That was that was something else.
So the idea that even if if y'all do struggle, I think we 4 of us here, it's a sample size of 4, but we all struggle, right?
That's right.
I would say about half my days in any given week are shitty, right? Like not just like mediocre or average, like they're shitty. But we've all been there before. We've gotten through it somehow, and we could use that to be like, all right, fuck this.
It's a weird balancing act.
It is.
Yeah. And it's just speaking for myself. I too go through those dark times of tremendous doubt and depression.
Yeah.
To the times that we've experienced, I would say particularly over this season, where we've had some of the most positive interactions that we've had since we started this. I mean, and those little messages of, hey, keep it up. The person who contacted me yesterday was a guy I worked with years ago who's now on the other side of the state. It was like, keep it up. Love it. I go to work. I put it on in my patrol car and I listen to it.
Those are huge. I don't know if people realize those little comments are huge.
It's affirming, because when you start to sink, you get those.
That's right.
And the feedback we got from Mount St. Mary's University, when Jack reached out and was like, hey, the kids loved it, the professors loved it. I had kids that were like, we wanted to show up to the podcast session, and he's like, they're kids, they don't check their emails.
But, of course.
But that how good that was, and that was fantastic. And
absolutely. I hate to cut you off, but I do have to take a quick break because I have to fix dinner tonight.
Got to go smoke your meat.
So I do. I got to go put this
succulent.
I got to go put this turkey
moist
on the smoker so I can have that, or I'm going to be in some serious trouble tonight. So let's take a little quick break while I throw the turkey on the smoker, and I'll be right back. Yeah. All right, we're back. The turkey is on the smoker. I got my little temperature monitor thing here. We're good to go.
Yeah, our little commercial break without a commercial.
I can throw one in there. I can do that in the edit. I can do that in post editing. Put a little commercial in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done it on a couple actually.
What? I need to go back and check.
Yeah, you might want to listen to them because people are probably still looking for your shirtless site.
Yeah.
My Fansly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll do. Yeah, we're negative $10.
I just bought a lifetime membership. So.
We're going to be doing the Christmas calendar with Al
Yeah.
this year, the 2025 calendar. Hey.
Yeah.
Yep. With all kinds of wonderful outfits for you to wear each month of the year.
No one wants
Wait
to
till you see the February.
No one
I mean,
wants
look, bro, at the wellness event in September, it better be there. That's going to be a hot seller right there, man.
I vote for.
Yeah.
We might have to. We could probably make some money on a Thor calendar.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's going to listen to this.
He's going to listen to this and he's going to go, "Oh my God, what are we talking about?"
By the way, Thor, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, I did mention you were under the weather, brother. So,
and I'm sorry to hear that.
all right, Kari, please continue.
Yeah.
Back on task.
I don't even know what we were talking about before. But I will say this. You go through seasons in life. So just because you're in a good summer season right now doesn't mean that what you're talking about in your story isn't hitting someone that's in their winter.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
I know.
Kari is wise.
That's why we have her
And
here.
humble.
And full of contradictions, apparently.
My ex might tell you.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Everything ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
And but again, I didn't expect to get into doing this and have it be the mirror that it's become.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you all have identified a need, a want and a need that is helping many, many people. And by many, if one is what we define as many and it helps them, I think that's a success, right? Reboot's been done with one person before, and that was one less person that may put their gun to their head and you know, pull the trigger. So if there's even one person that could benefit, I think that's a net positive.
I mean, hell, I'll be honest. This round of reboot.
Oh God.
I won't go there.
I
I had a down moment, and I actually went to one of the leaders. I said, "Hey, can you hold on my gun for me for a little bit?" And he's like, "Whoa, where are we right now?" I said, "I'm on a downward slope, but I don't want my temptation to be there. So hold on to this for me. When I'm ready, I will come to you and say, can you give it back?" And I just had to work through what I was going through, and I was going through a medication change as well, which actually ended up being a good thing. But had I not been through what I'd been through, and I know the feelings of when I'm going down that path, and I was ready to put the gun in my mouth before.
Yeah.
Now I can go, I'm not strong, and that's okay. But let me just take this temptation away so that if I get to the point I'm really not strong, that's not there as an option.
Yeah. No, that's.
I don't want to call it
good to have that. You know, have that awareness.
Right. Well, yeah. I was gonna say, like, it's not a good thing but knowing that you've been here before at your absolute lowest and you got through it, there is something good. I'll put that in quotations about that. Knowing yourself, that's a good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like.
I mean, it only took 41 years.
Right.
But.
And you're young. 41's young.
Fuck no.
41's young.
No.
Well, 40's the new 20.
Right.
Somebody lied to you. But no, I mean, I'm the one that has to live with me for the rest of my life. Whoever else lives with me is my choice. So I better learn to understand myself as best I can.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what they said on the 40-Year-Old Virgin. He said,
I thought
40's
they
the new
said Kelly
20.
Clarkson.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson! ¿Cómo se llama?
The truly must be kicking in.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
It is.
It's hilarious.
And I'm sober.
I was gonna say, Kari.
Oh, that's right.
You're just secondhand.
I'm just drinking water on the rocks.
Yeah. You know, when I turned 21, that was my joke I used to use to try and flirt with women. It would be, "Hey, do I need an ID for this?" And it would be water. And I would say, "Hey, can I have water on the rocks?" It never worked. So
I'll take a water straight up.
Yeah. Never worked. And I tried various renditions, different deliveries. It never ever panned out for me. So
when we are not recording, I'll tell you why.
I almost think I want that on recording.
No. Let's record and do that.
Moving on.
Yes.
She didn't take the bait.
Wow.
Oh, that's
I'm disappointed, Kari. I'm disappointed.
Hold on to that. It will not be the last time I disappoint you in this lifetime.
Wow.
Mm.
And now I know what's what.
you have been schooled.
Yeah.
I have been. I have been. But so, you guys have listened to the bulk of the season. Is there anything that y'all took away that resonated with y'all?
You go first, Greg.
So
Chirp,
there
chirp,
are
chirp.
there are 2 episodes, and full disclosure, I mentioned it earlier. I had my buddy Will on. So that one was one of my favorites, but it's not for the obvious reasons of just having to be his friend.
Right.
And then y'all going to the school, and I think both of those, to me, like for instance, you have Grossman on. We know who Grossman is. We know he's established. We know that whatever he says is going to have, credibility, and it's going to be refined. Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? But to have Will come on, right? We know where he works. We know the things he's gone through, both and the things he's doing and he's passionate about. That obviously hits. It's just more personable to hear it from a patrol officer than someone like Lieutenant Grossman. Not to diminish, someone who has a year, his whole life is dedicated to testifying and speaking and doing these things, right? He's a well-refined person, whereas you have someone like Will coming on where it is just his experience, his story, and what he's doing, right? So that one was really awesome to hear. And then going to the school, man, knowing that there was interest at a school, which we tend to associate schools with being very anti blah blah blah, very progressive in a lot of areas, but the fact that y'all were invited there, had this discussion with a huge turnout, that to me again resonates more because it indicates, I don't want to say a shift in the paradigm, but it indicates that it's indicative that there are people, even if it's a small amount, who are really truly interested. And the fact that you guys were there is, to me personally, very very profound.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get booed.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to college. I'm waiting for, hey, we're former cops. Boo!
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God.
Well, it probably helped that we were talking to criminal justice class.
It does.
But that doesn't necessarily correlate with them like wanting to be interested in what y'all are doing. That, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, just because they're a criminal justice major doesn't necessarily mean that they would be interested in maybe what you guys are doing. But the fact that they were there with a positive reception and a really good turnout, again, I think that is indicative. Again, I don't want to over speak and say or overgeneralize that the paradigm is shifting, but there is something that is, if we had an analogy of like a wall and we're chipping at the wall to break it down in order to rebuild it, that crack is now there, and y'all were just continuously hitting that crack, right? So that to me is a very profound takeaway.
It was interesting that when we were there, we spoke to 3 classes, and 2 criminal justice classes, and the other one was a sociology class. And it was a sociology class that my friend Jack, who's the chair of the department, was teaching, and it was his death and dying class. It was part of sociology.
Yep.
And he's like, no, when you guys are done, I want you guys to come over to my class and just walk in, sit down. I'm going to introduce you, and you guys field whatever questions the kids throw at you. And they had they were particularly engaged and particularly interested, and had some really, really good questions. And again, this was sociology.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very very positive group of young adults. It was
Oh yeah,
just a really good visit.
I mean, we're just walking through, and kids are like holding the door. Good day, sir.
I mean,
excuse
yeah,
me, sir. May I
everybody
help you,
was
sir?
overly polite.
Yeah.
And they didn't know us. I mean, we were just 2 schmucks walking
Yeah.
through the door. The only people we knew we were a handful of the other students that are, saying hi, being polite. I mean, they don't know. We're just 2 schmuckatellis coming through there.
But also think about what you guys are doing, right? People like you, if people maybe have a distorted view or an unsure view or even a neutral view or just maybe no view at all, and you're exposing them to a different side of this, right? So that's a very proactive thing to do, right? If there's a person who's like, I'm not a big fan of public safety, primarily, law enforcement, right? And then they see you guys and hear you guys like, oh shit, this is what they do. This is their experience. This is who they have on. That is a very forward thing that, could really be beneficial in the long run.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive it, at least.
Well, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
That was my favorite episode as well.
Really, the school.
Yes.
That's awesome. I'm hoping we get to go back.
I hear tell there's a good chance that might happen. So.
I just thought they had I thought Jack had a really great program there.
Oh yeah, yeah, and just to
that would have been a program that I would have loved to
absolutely
attend at that age and be a part of. It was just a really good program.
In fact, I still got a couple follow-ups I got to do for that. Like my friend, the professor that invited us, he has absolutely zero public safety background.
Right.
I mean, he's been in academia all his life, published writing history and sociology, and I mean, literally does not know a thing about this, but is one of those people, and this is one of the reasons I think so highly of him, is he's somebody that asks a lot of questions and then listens intently. And one of the reasons that I view him as one of the smartest people I know, and really one of the most engaging people to ever speak with. So to get an invite from him, made it even better.
Yeah, that was cool. And who was the and forgive me if he was the professor.
Yeah, retired ATF.
There was retired ATF, and then the other gentleman.
Oh, his name is escaping me right now.
I don't know. He asked some really,
and he had never been in public safety ever.
Correct.
He'd been in academia the whole time.
I thought he asked a lot, and I think he would have probably asked more. I didn't think he wanted to hog all the air. But I thought he would challenge, which I like. I want to be challenged. I want you to challenge us on what our views are and where we stand and what our thoughts are on something.
As long as it's done constructively,
and it was absolutely,
and which he did.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I thought it was great. I mean, I'd have sat there and fielded plenty more questions from, but no, it's a good visit. I just find that interesting that's the episode that stands out with you guys. We enjoyed that trip a lot.
Yeah,
and was something different for us.
Mm-hmm.
I also appreciate the fact that y'all are having people reach out from across the country.
A lot of that this year.
Yeah.
And
it's been pleasantly surprising.
Most has been from out west.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think for listeners here or wherever, that really can punch in the fact that it's a pandemic across the world, across the public safety family.
Mm-hmm.
It is not just something in your agency. And, that might help push people to look outside of the Metro Richmond area, since that's roughly where we're located, and look at what other agencies across the nation are doing that maybe they can tweak and implement there.
That was really interesting that we got so many emails in a row that were all from out west. I mean, California, Washington, the Vegas area. I mean, it was actually a run of all out west.
The Vegas episode was a very close second for me.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
Okay. Rob Hollingsworth.
Yep.
He was good. He's I need to reach out to him and talk to him again. He's funny. I mean, I got to talk to him for a little bit before we had him on, and his experience, just that whole thing with that shooting out there and what he was do out there, and then how he decided he was going to sign off was just funny and be done.
Which you can pull that up, and I remember having seen it some years back, 3-4 years ago, when it actually happened, and I pulled it up again after we had him on. I was like,
but he's
I love it.
He's doing really well. I mean, I see a lot on LinkedIn. He looks like he's doing really well, and he's a good example of you're not stuck in that profession, and not that we're telling people to get out. First responder, we need great first responders, and we want to encourage great first responders to be in the profession. But if you're at where your mind and your heart's telling you that you've done your time and you want to move on, and you feel like you can't, you can. And I think he's a great example of that. And I think that's a lot of what he's trying to do, is let folks know, hey, there's plenty of opportunities out there. If you have done your share and you're ready to move on, then you can. Because what happens is folks get stuck.
Yes.
And they've done their share. And then they feel like they can't leave, and they stay another year, 2 years, 3, and it turns into 5. Now you've got 5 years of disgruntled work where you're just not in it, and you feel like you can't go, and that adds to your depression right there.
That's
feel
not
like
why
you're
we're
stuck.
here. We're not here to live a miserable life.
Right.
We can rely on society to help us with that. But
Right.
do what you
And
can.
it does.
Yes.
Right.
Day in and day out. But do what you can to make yourself happy.
Yeah, I mean, and if you give 5 years of service and go, you know what, I've done my share, I'm ready to do something, then great, you have served your community. You don't have to stay. If you do, great. And for those that stay 25, 30, 40 years, whatever, great. But if you get to that fork in the road where this is what I've given a great effort, and I've done this career
Mm-hmm.
fully, but now I feel like I need to do something else for me or for my family, then you need to feel like you can do that. And if you feel like you're stuck and you can't, that just beats you down. That makes it even worse.
Don't do it for retirement either, because our retirement, by the time we get to retire, it's not going to help us survive whatsoever. So we're going to have to probably end up having a job.
Having to work, yeah.
So why not build a retirement doing something that you're happy with?
Oh,
Like, look at me. I'm getting ready to leave government. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go do what I want to do with my life now.
As somebody who collects a VRS check every month, if I had to live on that by myself,
Yeah.
I would be asking if somebody wanted fries with that.
I just think that's an important part. And again, I don't want anybody ever to think we're trying to. I know we make the comments and go, hey, go to the fire department, stuff like that. But we don't want to discourage from policing. It's a tough job. I think we want folks to understand what they're getting into, but also be realistic about, when you get to a point where you have given your all and you need to make a change, or you're ready to, it's no different than serving in the military. Some people come and they serve their 4 years. I served my 4 years and I was ready to move to something different, but I gave my 4 years to my country and that was enough. Now I had friends that stayed in for 20, 25, 30 years. That was what they wanted to give, but to stay just because you're stuck is not healthy. Or that you feel that you're stuck is not healthy.
Well, the message I got last night from a buddy I worked with years ago who's out west, who was saying, hey, thank you for what you do. And he had sent me this clip. And I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but it's a Army Ranger who's talking about a host of issues, including a lot of the things we talk about. And on the subject of law enforcement, for example, he's, this idea, and we've touched on it a little bit, of maybe at some point we start treating this like the military, where you have, what is the military? And I'm just spitballing here. 20% are maybe your lifers, the people that signed up right out of high school, or
Right.
they got their commission out of ROTC or the academy, and they're there until the end.
Yeah. Yep.
But the bulk of the people are people they're signing up for, 2-year enlistment, 4-year enlistment, whatever that may be. And then at the end of 4, I'm going to re-up one more time and then I'm done, whatever that is. And maybe that's what we start to look at some point, where would it be better if we structured it so, hey, look, give us 4 years,
4 solid years.
4 solid years of enthusiastic service, and then pull the pin and go do something else.
The only caveat to that is you're going to have some sort of benefit to your 4 years.
Right.
Now, whether it's maybe not a retirement fund, I do think they need to reevaluate the retirements. I think retirements need to be 10, 20, 25. And
not going to happen in this state.
No, not in this state.
No,
But I do think, they need to offer a 10, of course, a 10-year wouldn't pay what a 20-year retirement is, but offer that. So you could do 10 solid years, you retire, at least you're getting something for your time and you could go do something. But they still, if you do 4 years in the military, you still got all your VA benefits when you leave. So you're still, you're not getting a retirement fund per se, but I mean, the VA loan itself is almost worth. That's just fantastic. Anybody that's used a VA loan.
These are programs you could implement at the state level.
Yeah.
And you're really only limited by your imagination, and your budget. But your imagination, you could say, okay, you give us 4 good years of service and, we'll do some sort of credit to state university or something like that, or
Yeah,
we'll do some sort of tax write-off, or I mean,
you get
whatever.
a percentage of education paid
Yeah.
for. You get to, but yeah, you're right. You could come up with some things that are some benefits that you get for your 4 years, and then if you stay longer, obviously the benefits are better. But
Mhm.
I think that's something that should be looked at.
And just like the military, your NCO Corps, so for us it would be like our first line supervisors,
Right.
and your senior leadership. Those are your lifers.
Right.
Mhm.
Those are the people they're there for the long haul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dream of dispatchers one day not being considered secretaries.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And that failed again this
Yep.
year.
Again,
Yep.
that was disappointing.
Thank you, Virginia.
That was really and I saw I read the article, and then I read a couple articles on it, and it seemed like the big thing was all centered around funding.
Yep.
Money. That, how are we going to afford this? And we got to pay for this. We got to pay for that. And that rubbed me the wrong way, because my response was, I don't give a shit. You've got the fucking money. Stop paying for other bullshit. Make that a priority.
Mhm.
If your car has no gas, you're gonna find the funding to put gas in your car so you get to work.
Right.
Well,
And they should have known at the onset you're going to have to fund it. So why is that an after? It felt like it was an afterthought, kind of like a way to weasel out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we haven't really
Yeah.
considered the funding and how we're going to do the fund. Well, you should have known that going in. Nothing's free, so that should have been right from the get go. How do we fund this, and where are we going to get the funds? And let's do it. But I just feel like if they want to make it
Yeah.
happen, they can make it happen.
they could.
That's
but
just.
but
Maybe I'm naive.
that was one of easily 2-3 issues that related to public safety funding.
Yeah.
In the Virginia legislative session this year,
Right.
that did not get funding at all.
Right.
We still have a couple agencies in Virginia, law enforcement agencies, that don't get public safety retirement.
Some of those were proposed this time, weren't they?
Oh, we'll look at it next year, which means never.
But some of the agencies were in this that were asking for the law enforcement
there was
retirement, and they
2,
okay,
and then you had
and
the
they were
issue-
denied.
Right, and then you had the issue of, do we continue the retirement supplement for public safety past 65? Well, you got people like me. I don't think I can get, assuming it's even still in existence, Social Security
Mhm.
until I'm 67.
Right.
Right.
It's only in
Yeah.
a couple years, though, right?
Cut her mic off.
Yeah.
No, I saw you pulled out your old man readers over there too.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
You
I
know
liked
I love
Carrie.
you, Al.
I liked Carrie.
You're not Thor.
I'm. No, I'm not.
I'm sorry, brother. Can't back you.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't. They didn't. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
it-
long-term planning in anything that they're doing.
Well, you got 2 parties down there, and you have the Democrats that basically hate you to your face.
Yep.
And but they will come off of money now and again, and then the Republicans that love you to your face
Mhm.
and won't come off a dime.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Mhm.
I mean,
That really just kind of pissed me off on that one.
Yeah.
Don't give me there's no. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Figure it out. Make it happen.
Mhm.
That should be a priority.
Yeah.
That should be a priority.
and maybe one of these days, when all of us have a little more time and a little more focus, we will be the ones down there on lobby day
Yeah.
dealing with that issue.
We should bring a setup. Bring 'em.
I will take PTO that day.
I'll be there, man. I will be there in a
You,
heartbeat.
you want to talk about broadcasting from? Oh God,
Yeah.
Do it.
Dude, I will be
I
there.
think I got bail money.
Lobby day. All I'm saying is that would be
Badge to the bone.
fucking amazing.
Lobby day.
Hey, all you The Lucky Paw Foundation fans, I'm going to set up a campaign that's going to cover our bail. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't set that up in here.
Yeah.
Donate here.
Yeah, that probably. I don't know that would go so well.
No, I don't either. No.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how shit gets done.
Mm-hmm.
It don't go so well. At least initially.
Yeah, but again, we are having these conversations, and we are talking to folks like you that help move this forward, probably more constructively sometimes than we do.
Hey, I did want to so we've been going for a little bit, but I did want to circle back to Greg on, we talked about the positive response from what he's doing. I wanted to make sure we circle back and hit the resistance that he has found, or the walls that he has hit. And it sounds to me that it's more agency specific than.
And before you answer, I'm going to plug a question in there because I'm just curious. Is it the younger end or the older end?
Oh, I know the answer to that.
So, to preface, and this might sound fucking insane, but I am not exaggerating when I say when I first started this, so when we met initially back in whenever it was, when we did the solo episode, I reached out to literally every major department throughout the whole state. Major department is 50 or more officers.
Mm-hmm.
Like well over 500 different messages, emails, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. In every sector, I guess far north as Arlington, as far west as Clifton Forge, Covington, southwest as Roanoke, obviously central, and then Virginia Beach and all that stuff, right? So I will give you a slew of responses I've gotten from different departments, right? A lot of the northern ones, they just happen to be really set up. So like, hey, we appreciate it. This is awesome, but we're just not interested. That is completely understandable, respectable. Thank you for responding to me. If there's anything you'll ever need, please let me know. I'm a part of many nonprofits too. So if there's something that we could do, great. So pretty much everyone in Nova squared away. Then you go to departments like Petersburg. You go to Petersburg by themselves, because I would love to fucking be with them, because
I'm shocked at that one.
Well, so like
they probably need it.
Well, so I don't, aside from like Petersburg might be, aside from the other department that I'm, one of the more urban one I'm with.
Yep.
Petersburg's probably the one that could one up that department, right?
Yep.
I think we're in agreement, right?
Safe bet.
Yep. They blocked me on social media.
You are shitting me.
No,
wow.
I reached out to PIOs, SROs, recruiters, lieutenants, captains, chiefs, civilian positions in that department in Petersburg, and they just, so that was cool to have.
I could my response, we probably can't record my response on that, because
after hours.
We'll talk
after
about that
hours,
one.
Yeah.
I think
Peters Patch, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
But let's be honest, every time I would mention it, Petersburg, the first thing that comes up for everyone is, oh, they're corrupt. So that is also synonymous with Petersburg PD. I don't really give a shit. I just want to be there. I don't care. Just please don't, So that is a response. That was really unfortunate. Admittedly, they were the only one that went that far to do that. A lot of departments that just wouldn't respond. So you have Colonial Heights, you have Hopewell, you have Newport News, Portsmouth, Roanoke.
So the beach area, the Hampton Roads area, is not responsive.
Virginia Beach was, but that's because they have a really awesome person in charge of their team. That's why.
Okay.
So, but they're exempt, because I knew that they were good. So, like, we're friends, and but
Virginia Beach has been a little more progressive with
very
it.
progressive.
I do know that.
Very. But like, So again, like the ones I'd mentioned, among many others, just don't respond, right? I expected a lot of that. I just did, because it's they don't know who I am. They don't know what I'm doing. They don't know my motives. They don't know how I'm operating. So I get that. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Then you have state police, who just is so screwed up, yet they don't really. I met with a major, one of the majors, who is quote unquote very in charge of wellness for state police, and I'm saying this constructively. He had told me that because I pressed him, I said, how do you measure the success? Because he was talking about all these progressive things you're doing. I'm like, well, how do you actually quantify that? Because you're a major. Do you really think patrol's going to fucking tell you what they think and feel? No.
Especially in their particular organizational.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Right. So, and I promise you, I'm not forgetting your question, but I want to kind of.
No.
But so that is really frustrating. So they're like, yeah, you could. They were pushing me on being a CISM clinician, and I don't really agree with CISM. I agree with the idea of it, but how it's done, I don't agree with. Right.
So what is that exactly?
So
for those that don't know,
CISM is an acronym that stands for Critical Incident Stress Management. Essentially, if there is a traumatic or critical call, there will be people there. Kind of, it's a debrief. It is a debrief, right?
Yep.
But the way I do them are much different than pretty much everyone else, and this kind of ties into the thing that I'm doing, right? But even just even if I wasn't there, right? My personality lends itself to articulating things much more different than just some clinician from from whomever, right?
Right.
But I'm not saying that it's ineffective, nor am I saying that I'm happy that it exists. I just personally have my own gripes with it. But they were really hard on pushing me to do that, and I said no. That's not where I am best suited. I am best suited with patrol. Blah blah blah. They were not interested, but I still became a volunteer with them because it's good to have my resume, right?
Sure.
The most frustrating one I got, I was talking to Waynesboro PD.
Easy.
Truly's hitting him.
Truly's catching up with
yeah.
him.
But Waynesboro, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Waynesboro.
I
oh, yeah.
actually went to the academy in that town.
So Waynesboro is fucking wild. It is nuts out there, right? I was talking to a captain up there. I went out there, rode with him. Dude, we were almost as busy in regards to call volume, and not like stupid petty shit, like serious. We only had one or two violent things, but still a lot of stuff where things could have gone. A lot of domestics. We had a body found. We had someone that was shot. Like for a very small mountain town, right? But the officers were really cool. Blah blah blah. I get home, right? I reached out to the captain I was communicating with, who does like all the volunteer stuff. I'm like, hey, it was really successful. It seems like the officers really like me. What is the process going forward? And his response was, per our SOP, you can only ride with us once a year, recruits twice a year.
Oh gosh.
So
see,
fuck off.
go.
So fuck
Wow.
off, right? Which is just that. Just be honest and say, hey, we're not interested. That's cool if you're not. I'm not
Right.
gonna take it. And then lastly, and this is the most egregious because I obviously have personal connections to it. Henrico police, they're just all fucked up. They don't know what they're doing. Every department I've worked with, even if they gave me some bullshit answer, assuming they responded, they were pretty transparent about it by and large, right? They didn't really give me shit. Henrico police is literally the only department that has been giving me ongoing issues, which is fucking bonkers. They just had a suicide last one where the dude used a tourniquet to asphyxiate himself. Like,
Jeez.
come on.
Ongoing issues?
Yes. They keep on saying, well, we've never done this before, so we don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, I can work with that. Your former department, I had to go through the whole process that their cops go through, like 1,001-page background packet, polygraph panel, the whole 9 yards to get it. The urban department said, hey, just fill this out. You will report directly to this precinct captain. Cool. Spotsylvania said, hey, like it's a rather lengthy. Wasn't as lengthy as your department, but still pretty lengthy.
Yep.
Meet with the peer team, chat with them, blah blah blah, for a good fit. Henrico Police is the one department that said, we don't know how to use you because our SOP doesn't clarify. I'm like, yeah, every other one I've done this for has said that, and they exploit. It's meant to be interpreted. Why? I was like, put me through a whole goddamn fucking thing that your cops go through. I've done it before. I'll do it again. They are just so against it. They had an issue involving confidentiality a couple years ago, but the chief there, he's really dug himself a huge hole, and he's been very adamant against pure sport. His name's Chief English. And
wow.
Just spilling the tea.
Very
right.
I don't fucking care. Like
That's
like when your officers,
that's disappointing.
it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
They have had a lot of problems.
Well,
probably in the last 10 years for sure.
Well, that's the classic. We can't get out of our own way. Well, we don't know how our SOP. Well, you know what? Sometimes the SOP in a house doesn't quite cover everything.
And like
so,
no. And if you are not regularly revisiting your SOP to
exactly,
go, how do we adapt this as we grow and new issues come up? It's not like it's a static thing that never changes. And if you can't fit it into that box, then fuck it all.
Yeah, no. And what's unfortunate for Henrico's sake, people on the actual team, this is not a referendum on their team. This is a referendum on really higher up people that fucking don't want to put any stock into it. That is where I'm specifically targeted. That's why I don't really care if I name drop, because this needs to be told. And it's unfortunate because they have some really awesome people on their peer sport team who want to help, who want to learn, and they're kind of bogged down by
they have a lot of great, fantastic officers.
But like again, like with your former department, like I had to meet with a captain numerous times. We studied the SOP and like, how does this sound? I'm like, okay, but this might be an issue. Okay, let's look at this. Like we literally like fucking brainstormed the hell out of it to make sure that when we pitched it to then Chief Katz, there we go.
Well, he's not the chief there now.
He's not. Yeah, yes, but that. There, it made sense. There was not any hole spoke in it, and if there was, it would be a constructive question, not a judgmental or like bad question. So,
well, see, and I don't want to pat the back of my former agency, but that is really how it should go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've never really had this, but you know what? Come in here and let's look at this
Yeah.
and see how we piece this together, because this is something that's outside the box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's piece it together and figure out how we make something like this work, because
Right.
it sounds good. But that's how
And
things should get done, as opposed to, well, you know what, that doesn't fit into the box I have drawn here. So
That's not the way we've always done it.
oh,
but
gosh, don't even
similarly,
get
It
me on
doesn't
that.
fit, therefore we have
Right.
to just throw it out.
and similarly
must have
with
quit.
the more urban department that I do a lot of work with, they have a very bad reputation. I am not commenting on that. But what I will say is that through my experience, at least with this specific precinct and the people there, that has not been the fucking case at all. It is awesome people, awesome command staff, awesome people with support. They just really stick to their own. But they let me in. So they stuck to their own and gave me a chance, and now it's really fucking paying off. So it's really interesting to kind of compare that to a place like State Police, a place like Henrico, a place like Petersburg, that are all in central VA, right?
I would encourage you to reach out more to the state agencies, because and we've talked about this
Yeah.
before. I'm a product of the state agencies.
Yep.
There's half a dozen statewide agencies in Virginia, and these. Hell, I'll just say it. These conversations, much less anything beyond conversation, really do not exist within the state agencies at all.
So on LinkedIn, that's honestly where I'm most active when it comes to trying to network and spread the word. I've done a lot on individual levels with state agencies, and no one's responded to me. I'm talking about 24 from all different, just no response. They read it and don't respond.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously with certain state agencies, I don't know what ride-alongs would look like, so I understand like it's a different thing, and I get it. But even if it's like, hey, I don't have to do that, but maybe just every now and then come in and talk about the subject. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, state agencies desperately need it.
They do.
They really do. And I'm trying not to badmouth, and I guess not really badmouth them, but I do think they have a history of kind of being in that trench of, this is the way it's always been done. And I think it gets masked as the tradition. And there's a difference between tradition and just how you've done things.
Right.
There's things that are traditional and that are good to hold on to. There is traditions that are good to hold on to, but there's practices that aren't really, I would say, tradition, but you're holding on to those. And I think they get ingrained in this. This is the way it always had moved, and we've always been great without this. So why do we need it now? And I don't know if that's. I just think it's a very limited way to look at things.
Of the state agencies, only 2 are agencies that exist purely for public safety, and the others are law enforcement divisions within broader agencies.
Right.
And sometimes they're quite large, and sometimes their organizational footprint is considerable, but they're still sometimes viewed as a sideshow for everything else that the agency does. And my agency was that way, and so things like you're doing get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
And if I just may make one more, I will keep this one a little more vague because it hasn't been definitive, but with a certain department that I already have a relationship with, there are other precincts. So there was one that I reached out to because I was very interested in their geography. So I don't know a whole lot about them on the PD side. With the ambulance, I've had a lot of interaction, but on the PD side, I just, I know their jurisdiction, but it's been often referred to as like a very different area from the other. And I went in, I introduced myself to all briefings. I met with the lieutenant, met with the captain. Now, this is what pissed me off about this situation, right? So I have a very good pitch, and I never rehearse it. I just know the points to hit on. But I always just wing it when I go in there because that's authentic. That's how I am. I don't like prepping things. It's fucking stupid. This captain had interpreted what I had said, even though I made it very clear that I ran this by the clinician on their peer support team, and that I have a large footprint at one of the other precincts. She still interpreted it as me trying to solicit and step on the clinician's toes. So
There
that's
you go.
something that I was, and I saw that this person happened to be not the captain, but the clinician happened to be at the Green Top event,
Okay.
and we had a long conversation. And she was like, "Yeah, like I don't know what she was talking about. Like I vouch for you. But, like you're." So that's also an interesting thing where because she happens to be older too. So it's like, what is this? Is this interest? They had me in. There was interest enough for me to come for briefings, which she approved and all this stuff. But then to interpret what I had said, which literally I make it very clear that this is free and I'm not like soliciting at all. It's like, okay, are you nervous that I have other motives? That's fair, right? That's a fair,
Sure.
Mhm.
but I think this is the mindset and the thinking that a place like state police has or other departments where they just, no, we don't know who you are. We don't care. We're going to stick to what we know or lack of. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
So it's safe to say, going back to my earlier question, it's the
Sorry.
older folk,
By and
it's our
large.
generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not exclusive. I have seen some younger folk, not very minimal on patrol. It's at least MPOs or sergeants that are younger that may have a bit. But again, I don't think it's as simple as age. I think there are other factors involved. I think age is a big component of that, but I don't think
Yeah.
it's the only component. And I don't want to, because that in and of itself is a huge conversation that obviously we don't have time for. But yes, if I had to generalize, it would be people of at least 40 and older. That is where more pushback, animosity, or just disbelief, or not disbelief, or not believing what I'm doing comes from.
Well, I definitely want to, as we move on through our season, I definitely want to stay up with you on that and see how it progresses. Because again, we haven't talked with you before the onset, before you really got it. Now you're into it, and I really want to see how this progresses with the agencies that are responsive, and see if maybe my hope is maybe some of these that are not so responsive maybe might have a change of heart.
I
Who
hope
knows?
so. I really hope so. And I mean, like, I was seriously, this could even just like the amount of shit that I have witnessed, the paradigm shifts, the everything. It's just it could honestly be like a 2-part episode because there's just so much for me to even digest, and then I have to fucking talk about it, because like there's a lot of interesting things that I've picked up on, which I don't know if it's because of me and my abilities. Like I don't know if it's a referendum on me just being a different person and dedicated and kind of psychotic to do it, or I don't know.
I think we're gonna have to get you back on season 4
Would love to.
and probably hash out some of that. But
Yeah.
Greg, I'll tell you, I mean, it probably in a way, I mean, we expect that there's going to be some agencies that are just going to be I think the fact that you have some that are responsive, I think that's huge, because if you can have success there, that's where it's going to spill over into somewhere. Because if you start having success there, then people will hear about it, learn about it. Those are big agencies. The two that you had, those are some of the larger agencies in the state. So we're not talking about, a 10-man department that, everybody knows everybody and they're like, oh yeah, Greg. Yeah. These are large agencies that the contacts you made probably didn't know you from Adam at the beginning.
Right.
But so you have success there. If they get success with it, they're going to advertise that. They're going to talk about it because they want to talk about the things that they're doing well or they're doing better than somebody else.
Right.
They're recruiting people. So that's where you might get the other agencies to see that and go, yeah, we got something from that guy. Maybe we need to reach back out. Hopefully,
and I think it's pretty obvious. I am a very committed and very annoying person at least getting a response at bare minimum.
Gary's like nodding.
Yeah. I'm really good. Like I'm really good at sending emails every fucking day to make sure just get a response, even if it's like fuck you asshole. Like that enough is a win for me, right? But what I will say, and to kind of at least summarize the work that I'm doing, right? At least in the field, because I classify it as field work. With the more urban department, I was with a gentleman, super, super good officer, good dude. We had a fucking stupid night. We were back at the precinct about 30 minutes before EOT was up, and we heard 3 different shootings happen, all within like a 50-yard radius, right? So we're fucking guns a-blazing. We're going all over, going 100 down, really tight streets that maybe shouldn't go. That's,
right.
But nothing comes of it. No one reported it, but we heard it come back, and I go to give this, hey brother, appreciate it. You'll see, this is when I'm always here. These 2 dates, these dates in the month, blah blah blah. Always on, this tour. And I went to give him a handshake, and he's like, "No, fuck that." He gives me a hug, and he said, "Hey, man, like, you matter. Don't leave here anytime soon." And I wanted to fucking cry. Like,
Wow.
I wanted to cry. I'm desensitized to pretty much everything underneath the sun, right?
Right. Yeah.
This was the thing that just, I wanted to cry. Like, I took every ounce of energy to, like, not cry. So I went to my car, and I'm like, holy fuck, bro.
That's great.
So
That's the goal right there.
that's the goal.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the goal of this program.
Yes.
As long as
Well,
you help one person,
Hey,
you've done your job.
This is
Yep.
true, and sometimes I have to remind myself of that. But Al, as we kind of start winding down, I'm gonna kick over to you, and I guess everybody here is. What are we expecting the next season? How are we looking for season 4?
Well, I know you and I have talked about it off the air, and it's filling up.
Mm.
It's filling up. We've had people reach out.
The Vail event, we talked to a lot of folks that I think are going to be
Mhm.
our episodes.
I think we've talked also about wanting to hear some different perspectives on wellness, and wanting to hear some different perspectives on struggle. I know Chris, who fell in the line of duty with Wintergreen PD
Mm-hmm.
this past year. His father,
Yeah.
expressed an interest in coming on, and I think the perspective of those left behind is vital to hear. But we've also talked about exploring some other areas of wellness.
We had concerns of police survivors stop by our tent, so
Right.
I think we're going to reach out to them. They were definitely excited about coming on and talking about cops program, which I think is good.
Greg and I both know somebody that we are trying to get on the program, and I think we just have a couple more months, and then the person should be able to reach out to you guys.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
I'm not joking. At home, I have a Google Doc of a list of people and events and things. Not to be pushy, but
Well, sure.
as I just said, I'm very annoying.
Pushy.
We can go pushy. I don't give a fuck. That with Batch to the Bone specifically in mind, with groups, with people, with different events. I also want to shamelessly plug. I would love to be here every month. That'd be cool.
I think we
30-minute like 30-minute segments. Hey, or what's your month been like? Because I have someone else that we email every month, and I'm like, it's much harder to type all this stuff as opposed to communicating about it.
I wouldn't mind having that kind of regular check-in with some.
Sometimes I think we need a regular check.
We probably do need a regular check-in.
I know.
That might actually be for our benefit.
To hell with the listeners. We need it.
Right. This is what we need to talk about.
Maybe you could also consider spouses of public safety as a topic.
Oh,
we've talked about that.
We have flirted with this idea.
Great
I threw it out there last time.
And
I know you did.
Great idea.
It is both intriguing and terrifying.
But you need to hear it though, because I'm sure that their perspectives.
You might not realize how much your spouse actually can relate to some of the stuff that you're going through.
And
they can.
If I may, so in office, right, that's where I see, public safety only, and I include spouses in that group, right?
Right.
The amount of fucking insight that these people have, and like, hey, like I know my partner's not doing well, but like I'm afraid to ask them. I don't know his response. They know what the fuck's going on. They need to be empowered. They need to feel like they will not be chastised or and ostracized or anything like that.
Yeah.
So they are truly a very equally, if not more important intervention that needs a lot more empowerment and support.
The question for me is if we, of course, obviously we both have spouses now. Well, we could certainly have them on, but if we wanted to keep it a little more not so attached to us, if we bring in spouses from another, do we bring in the spouse with the officer, or do we bring in just the spouse to talk kind of?
Any way you cut this, it feels like juggling live hand grenades.
I think spouse. I think solely spouse. I'm
kind of that same way. I almost I guess because I want it to be completely unfiltered. I want them.
Right.
I want that spouse to be able to say, these are all the things that I experienced.
We brainstormed an idea at one point, and I really didn't get past brainstorming.
yet anyway, but having our spouses run an entire episode.
Be amazing.
Yes.
And
And that'd be amazing. But
I do think that's probably
woo, that
so where we pretty much yeah. So I mean, we pretty much get everything up and running in here,
Yeah.
and they have the mics. They're in your chair, my chair.
Yep.
yeah,
And once we kind of get everything up and fired up, we walk out and leave.
Yep. That's
And then they have
fantastic.
As a former officer's wife, I can help y'all with that.
yeah.
I got to get over
Um,
my abject fear.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by. I think the content would be pretty damn good.
And to your point, Denny, in office, when I always make it very clear to the spouses, I'm like, hey, like, this is for you, but if you ever want to bring your spouse in, that is absolutely fine. But just know the parameter. Like, we have to explain the parameters. Every fucking time they say no because we want to be unfiltered. They literally said what you said. Like, we want to be unfiltered. So you're,
Yeah, I think
Denny-
I think we really need to probably make that happen now.
What you're doing through this podcast is you're helping the frontline personnel, the field personnel,
right.
but you also need to help them help their home life.
Yep.
And
So
yeah.
if being on this episode and allowing some officers, firefighters, EMTs, nurses, whatever, start to hear that their family members hopefully want to hear what they're going through, can relate to what they're going through, you might actually help some home life too, because we all know public safety home life.
it's amazing.
I mean, how many divorces can we rack up for
Right.
some of them?
Right.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Yeah.
There's a lot that we got for season 4.
I mean, I say we're going to be on break. We're getting ready to go on break for the summer, but we're on break only from the studio aspect.
Right.
The actual legwork, and it was kind of that way last year.
Yeah.
I mean, we got everything and reached out to the contacts, started getting things scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
So the break really is it is a break, but it's more of a studio break. But the clerical or the administrative break, that's not so much because
Yeah.
we're going to be, on the phone, on emails, and
Mhm.
getting season 4 lined up. But the point being,
Mm-hmm.
season 4 is coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And I still
We are steadily steaming along.
I
Good.
still swing for the fences on some folks I've reached out to try to. I'm like, oh, they're never gonna. I'm not even gonna get through
Well-
their secretary, but I still swing for the fences.
I think we always should.
Yeah.
I think we always. We lose nothing
Exactly.
by swinging for the fences.
Exactly.
We lose nothing by shooting for the moon. So, we're working on trying.
Use your
To-
followers.
Yeah.
Put it out on your Facebook, Instagram, email, whatever y'all have. I know you have Facebook. Hey, if you know someone who would be great on the show, I know y'all say it in the episodes occasionally.
Sean Ryan, we would
Yeah.
love to have you on Badge to the Bone.
Yes.
Well, and you know who I've said I wanted, because I think this is so important, is like somebody like Officer Daniels,
Yeah.
using humor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Humor is a
Yeah.
coping
Yeah.
mechanism, and that's it. If anybody knows him, is listening, wants to reach out to him, we'd love to have him.
Please tell me, Denny, if I didn't, but I think it'd be awesome because Lord knows, in and of itself, and this isn't about me, but I have a fuck ton of wild stories, right? But I
Right.
think it'd be so cool to have like an unfiltered, almost like a stand-up comedy thing where it's, for public safety though. So you just have people tell their stories and you just compile it into one, so like just
Ooh.
as a filler, but like, so like if you could theme it, right? So like the worst, academy experiences, the wildest calls, the Halloween, like you could really theme it out. I don't know. I think that'd be so fucking cool, and have it like be a filler.
Wow.
For April Fools.
We're gonna have to
Yes.
talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that just gave me an idea.
I like
we
it.
will have to be talking about. That just gave me a crazy idea.
Because Lord knows, again, and I'm just a fucking schmuck, and the amount of fucking stories I have is wild. So imagine, I've only been doing this for 2 years. So imagine if someone 5, 10,
I like it.
20.
Well, I definitely want to thank you both for being here today and helping us close out our 3rd season,
Yeah.
which is another milestone for us.
Mhm.
But I appreciate your listenership. I appreciate the support y'all give us constantly because that is so important.
We could not do this without folks like you.
Yeah, if we weren't getting this, we would have probably packed it away. So thank y'all so much. And thank you for having your time here to talk with us and give us some feedback and just.
It's also important to thank you guys for what y'all are doing. Y'all are definitely giving those of us who are comfortable in speaking an avenue to really reach out to the people who need to hear it. So you guys deserve a lot of credit as well and a pat on the back because y'all have busted ass with us.
Absolutely.
Well, we
Thank
appreciate it, and we're trying.
That's all
We're
you can
trying,
do.
but
We'll be back at it.
Al, we will. We'll be back at it. We'll be back soon. A little summer break. If you haven't heard every episode, go back and listen to some old ones. If you've come into Badge to the Bone, in season 3, go back to season 2, and there's some really great episodes all throughout all 3 seasons.
Go to season 1 because there was a good one there too.
There was.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely want to thank everybody that has been listening, that has liked and followed our pages, everybody that has sent emails in, all the guests we've had, and all the guests we've had for all the season so far up till now. That has probably been the most tremendous impact for me. Is just the level of guests we've had and their stories and how they share and just their personalities. Have been some just phenomenal people. Every person we've had on here has been just a fantastic individual. So we're appreciative of them. But definitely for everybody that has been supporting us, we definitely appreciate that.
We could not do this without all of you. And while we hope that maybe something we're doing is helping somebody out there, this has been a tremendous help for us.
It has.
As individuals. And hopefully it's a mutual exchange.
I think it is. Yeah. But we'll be back soon.
Thank you, everyone.
I can hear what you're thinking.
Al, we're going to close that out a little different today.
I like it.
I like the song.
Yeah.
If you look in my eyes,
I think it kind of says what we think.
I think so, maybe. I don't know. I just thought maybe we'd do a little something different as we close out the season. But where can they find us?
Well, they can find us at badgetothebone.com. They can find us on Facebook at Badge to the Bone.
Also, email us at wearebadgetothebone@gmail.com. Please reach out to us over the summer break. Let us know what you think. If you want to come on a podcast, let us know.
But everybody, enjoy your summer. Take a break. Relax. Have fun. Spend it with the people you care about.
Be safe.
And be well.
Count them one by one, like notches in the handle of an outlaw's gun. You can outrun the devil if you try, but you will never outrun the hands of time. In time there'll surely come a day. In time all things shall pass away. In time you may come back, some say. Live once or die once more. But in time your time will be no more.